Hello and welcome to the County Chat special. We've got another in conversation with. We started with Omka Cott, and no offence to Omka, we might have progressed a little bit with the quality of player we've got on now. Introducing former England under-19 Sussex pro, just winner of the Sussex Premier League with Horsham. A bit of a, give him credit where in the local domination that he's doing. It's Bertie Foreman, school cricketer, friend of mine. But yeah, welcome to the show, Bertie. Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure, mate. Good to be here. I watched your episode with Omka whilst I was up in Worcester. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Mate, appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. You were probably one of the first people I had in mind when I started the county chat. I'd be like, we'll have a chat with Bertie at some point, and it'll be nice and easy. But yeah, getting us kicked off. It's sort of end of the season time. So just like, how are you? How has your the summer been? How have you enjoyed it? I guess is a general sense.
Well, it's weird this time of year, isn't it? I played a game last week, and it felt like rugby season. It felt like I was back at school, and it was like rugby season was coming around the corner.
Yeah.
And it's not nice, is it? But summer wise, it's been enjoyable. Played a lot of cricket. Um, both for Sussex and for Horsham, and probably haven't quite played as many games in the first team as I'd have wanted, but at the same time, still happy with the way I performed throughout the season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've had a great year in the twos, and for Sussex, and then also, Horsham. For anyone who's not a Sussex-based fan, have gone undefeated in our Premier League and done unbelievable, and won the league by what was it, probably about 100 points, if not more.
Yeah,
I don't know.
something like that.
Something like that. So yeah, you've had a good year in that sense, but yeah, long may it continue a kind of progression through. But yeah, as I mentioned at the top of the show, at the start of we're chatting away, you got kind of a prestigious thing by your name at this point, and something I feel like everyone might know a bit about as cricket fans, but you might not know much about the sort of background of it. So the England under-19 stuff, I guess, just firstly is like, how does it come about? How do you how does even the first phone calls happen and all? It all comes from. Does it come from Bunbury festivals? Is that right? And then you kind of move through that. I mean, again, I literally don't know, so please inform
Yeah.
me.
So how mine came about was you have Bunbury when I think you're 15. So there's
Yeah,
something called
that's all
Super
right.
Fours, and Super
Mm.
Fours is basically it's the same thing as Bunbury, but it happens at Loughborough every year,
Right.
and it's under 18, I think, or under 17,
Yeah.
under 18,
Sure.
and it's basically picked out of academy cricket. So I did 2 years at Super Fours, and my first year I was like wasn't going to get picked in it, and I went and I played an academy game at Hampshire, and did well, took some wickets, and David Graveney, who was the England under-19 selector at the time, then asked me to go to Super Fours, and I played for London in the South East. And we won it that year. We had a bloody good team, and then following year, um, captained London the South East,
Oh wow. Yeah.
and I did quite well that year. And then Michael Yardy was the head coach of the England 19s. And yeah, I think I was in the indoor school at Hove,
Yeah.
yeah, I might have just come back from training or something, and I got an unknown like phone call, and you think it's going to be like someone trying to sell you PPI or something like that. I picked it up, expecting pretty much just to put it straight back down. And it was David
Mm.
Graveney, who was the head 19 selector, he has been for years,
Wow. Yeah.
and he told me, and yeah, I did that summer. We played a couple of warm up games against Ireland at Loughborough, and then we played against
Yeah.
Sri Lanka, which
That was it.
was
Yeah, Sri
quality.
Lanka. I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
So did you do a tour at all, or did you just have a home summer England under-19 sort of thing?
No, so I was lucky enough to do two tours. So
Right. Yeah.
because I'm not a World Cup year, we did a couple of
Sure.
tours, which was it was
Yeah.
it was quality. To be fair, we pre-Christmas we went to Abu Dhabi, and we played
Right.
like inter squad a lot of training. We went to the Sheikh Al Zayed like complex where they played the T10 and stuff, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that was quality. And we did about 3 weeks there training.
Amazing.
Um, it was great. We played a couple of one days against the UAE, played a 4 day against the UAE, then came home for Christmas. And then in about 15th of Jan, I think it was, we flew to Australia. and we played a youth like test series against Australia in Brisbane.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah. No, this is all kind of coming back to me now because it was just peak me getting into sort of pure cricket badgering and just being like a lad I actually played with and know quite well is going all around the place and doing all these cool stuff. So yeah, no, that I mean, yeah. How was the experience of going out to Australia? Because that would have been before you ever went out to do seasons out there for Manly, isn't it? So that was your first go of playing cricket out in Oz, was representing England. So how was that?
Yeah, it was really cool. I was a bit nervous. We were all really excited. I mean, we all got
Mm,
to Heathrow Airport and we stayed the night at Heathrow Airport, right? And we were all like sitting there. We had a couple of beers and we were all proper giddy.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, that 24-hour plane, like that was just rubbish.
yeah, takes it out of you.
But once you get there, like you landed in Brisbane, and the first thing, like we got off the plane, and the heat was like it was like 37 degrees
Yeah,
when
mate,
we get
it's
out the plane.
insane up in Brizzy. It's insane,
Oh,
isn't it? Yeah.
and I think we had like 3 days worth of training at Allan Border, which is like where Queensland are based.
Mm.
And then we played a warm-up game against Queensland's second 11. And they had a good team. They had like, Guthrie, who now plays for Northants.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
Proper
played.
quick, innit?
Yeah, yeah. Angus
Yeah,
Lovell, I think he got
yeah,
100 in the Sheffield Shield final.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Know the name. Yeah,
Rush,
yeah.
like some like really good players
Proper
playing.
players.
And
That's class though.
but it was like 38, 39 degrees, UV,
Mm,
like through the roof.
yeah,
So we're all like sun creamed up, all of like, we're coming out of England in the middle of the winter and we're like sun
yeah.
creamed up. And it was mental, like the parts of your body that you burn because you forgot to
Mm,
put sun cream on. So like Archie Lennon, I remember, mate,
mm.
he burnt the back of his hands so badly. He had blisters, like
Oh
ridiculous
my
blisters.
god.
To a point where like 1 week later, he was out on his balcony in the hotel that we were in, right, laying down on the balcony, like sunbathing, with his shorts on and a pair of oven mitts because he couldn't put his hands in the sun. It was
No,
ridiculous.
that is a strong image. That to be fair.
Yeah. But no, it was quality. We loved it.
So yeah, what is it? List off some names. I'm sure like who else was in that squad. I feel like
Yeah, so Ben McKinney opened the batting with Harry Singh from Lancs.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Jacob Bethel batted at three. And
Not a bad three to sneak in
yeah,
there.
he's a pretty good player, isn't he? Uh,
Yeah.
did Rui bat four? I think James Rue batted four.
Yeah, funny enough, the name that I really remember from your under-19 side was Rui.
Yeah,
But I kind of forget that the people batting above him were
Bethel.
McKinney,
Yeah.
McKinney and Bethel, which is brilliant.
Matt Hurst.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
playing in finals there at the moment.
yeah. Of course he is. Yeah.
Tom Aspinwall also playing at finals there for Lancs.
Yeah.
Eddie
so
Jack.
God, that is a
Dom Kelly
serious
from
team.
Hampshire.
Yeah, yeah.
Dan Ibrahim.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie Tier.
Tier went. Yeah, okay.
Archie Lennon.
So how big is a squad just generally? Like, because I'm assuming obviously not all of you are playing. But
It's a red
is
and
it pro-
it's a red and a white ball squad.
oh,
Some
okay.
cross over,
Yeah,
some
yeah,
don't.
yeah. Sure.
But yeah, like a lot of lads. So you'll either, if you're just in the red ball, you play the red ball, then you fly home. If you're just in the white ball, you like stay at home, then you fly out for the white ball.
Right. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, I feel like I'm missing a few. But yeah, we had a very good team.
Yeah, and then because that was a tight series as well. I feel like when you played the Aussie under-19, because obviously they're always going to be pretty jet as well, aren't they? But
Yeah,
you guys did pretty well out there. I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, we won the first game actually out of nowhere.
Mm.
We got rolled in the first innings, and we managed to like, I think they had a lead of about 80 odd. We were getting rolled again, and then we had a bit of a like low order resurgence, and we ended up getting a decent score. And then it's probably the best game of 4-day cricket I've ever played in.
Yeah, yeah. I
They
can't
were
really imagine.
cruising. Liam Blackford from Victoria got 100. Joel Davies got like 70 odd. And they were cruising. I think they only had to chase about like 250. And they needed 60 odd with like 6 wickets in hand. And
Wow.
Dom Kelly took like 5 for 15 or 5 for 20 in a spell.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like scenes, mate.
Just pandemonium.
Absolute
I
like
can imagine.
pandemonium.
Yeah.
And then like we took the final wicket and it was, I think it was a run out. Genuinely, I think, yeah, that was it. I was
Mate.
bowling and it got nicked to Charlie Tier at leg slip and he dropped it. And we were all like standing like this. McKinney and his big lanky legs have gone running after it, turn around, thrown it to Hersey's taking the stumps, and it was
Mate,
we all went mental. Like
yeah,
let's
yeah.
just run him out when they need 10 to win.
Mate, that is.
Um, yeah, it was
It's
fun.
crazy, like I mean, pressure and heat in those situations. Like when you've just like when you were like cruising along, some lads just taking a fiver out of nowhere. That a
Yeah,
run out happening there would make sense. But mate, that's I like. It's funny. I always think this about like my experience of cricket because you like I look at scorecards like an embarrassing amount of my life. Do you know what I mean? But there's only so much you can take from that. Do you know what I mean? Because if I saw the end of day there, you'd probably, as I would have woken up in the UK and seen it, you'd probably be like, oh, like a close game, but like probably always going to win it. But it only takes you having to look down at the partnerships and seeing like, I don't know, 4 for
yeah, yeah,
230, all out 270. And you're like, you can kind of miss a real story of the game. And I guess that's why the kind of the stories of cricket are kind of the best bit about it, because you can take as much as you want from numbers and all of that. But sometimes you got to see the kind of hear the stories through the numbers, if that makes sense.
yeah. I mean, it was great, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we celebrated aptly as well.
I'm glad to hear it.
But
Yeah,
you're a
yeah.
bunch of 19-year-old lads in Brisbane. You
Yeah, I
just
mean, I'm
like
not
you're
that right.
playing. You just won a game of cricket for
Yeah. For
for your
England as
country.
well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, well,
19s, but
yeah,
it's
but
but it's still kind of against the Aussies.
yeah,
And yeah, I think we celebrated a little bit too far because by the
yeah,
time the next game came around, we won the toss and batted on a flat one and got absolutely rolled. Vidler, Callum Vidler bowled so
yeah.
fast and just like,
Do you think you just pissed them off a bit and they were like,
oh,
this ain't happening again?
God knows.
Not in our backyard.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, God knows. But we got well and truly trounced in that second game.
Well, it's almost the English heritage that in some ways. It's like just do well, really well once, and then just be like, well,
Yeah.
we've proven ourselves. We can do it, and now we're just going to be here on the pitch
Yeah, yeah.
and
Oh, the second game was
take us
pointless,
for what we are.
lads. You won it by so much. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It says 1-1 in the scorebook, lads. Come on.
come on, we
No
won the
one's
Sky
keeping track of
Sports
the numbers.
Classic.
No one's going to remember your. I mean, yeah. So I guess off the back of that, and obviously the good nights and all of that came with it. But like, who are the people you gravitated to? Who are the people who I guess maybe you're still good mates with,
Mm.
and all of that? Like, because I'm sure obviously there was the Sussex lads like Lenham, Tier, Ibrahim, as you said, which is I mean an unreal kind of showing, I guess, from a county. But were there lads who you wouldn't have known beforehand that you got along really well with?
Yeah, I mean, naturally, like you said, like Lennon, Tier, Ibrahim, Colsey didn't even get picked for the Red Bull part, which is mental. Like
That is
considering the
that
bloke's
is
got that many first class hundreds, and
yeah.
he's an absolute Red Bull gun.
Oh,
But
I love James Coles. I've never met him, but I literally like fanboy over him, and he's younger than me. And
yeah,
like, I kind of always realise that. I'm like, God, I'm just thinking about how good he is sometimes. I'm like, and then I'm like, he's literally like 2 or 3 years younger than I am. Like, and I'm just like, oh, that is embarrassing.
yeah, he's a bit of a rock
Some
star.
argue it's the reason I've grown my hair out, but
Curtains, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm jealous of him. He's sponsored by Lucasade, and that's like my career aim. So, but no, it's other lads. I got along really well with Ben McKinney and Ross Whitfield.
Okay.
Like, it was weird. Like the Northern lads, I got along really well with. The Durham lads, Mitch Clean, who's just signed for Essex, actually. Ben McKinney. There was a bloke called Ross Whitfield as well. I've run with Ross, and he was a funny guy. And me, him, and McKinn were just going, yeah, often just go for dinner and stuff, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was good.
Nice, yeah, because I think that's always the nice part about that is those tours, and I guess it's why they keep going, as well as the kind of experience for you guys as young cricketers who could in the future represent England and just be class, really good level county cricketers in England. Is also like you kind of getting to know your contemporaries. Like if you think people, Joss Butler and Joe Root, not them comparing any of the lads to them, but it's like they were playing England under-19s cricket together, one lad from Somerset, one lad from Yorkshire, and now, 15 years later, they're probably still quite good mates, and it's kind of, again, the kind of nice thing about cricket tours and tours in general, it kind of brings out that sort of human social side as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I remember quite vividly, like the first time when I got picked for 19s. You go to Loughborough and you have like a training week, sorry, up at Loughborough, and you don't really know who else has been picked. Like you kind of have a little like message to each other. Have you like who's this? Who's been picked? Do you know this? Who's been picked? And you
Mm.
sit in a room at Loughborough and they like talk you through all the briefings. You look around and like the blokes who like some of whom like being from Sussex, I'd never played against Lancs. I'd never played against Matt Hurst. I'd never played against McKinney apart from Super
Mm.
Fours stuff like that. And you end up becoming 6 months, 7 months, 8 months later really good mates and.
Yeah, yeah,
It's interesting because you think back to that room and thinking, oh shit, like I don't know half of these people.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like fond memories.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, also, I guess with that, and that was a part of it I was interested in, and I guess maybe like cricket fans would be interested in I guess obviously the further on level of like England dressing rooms, but England under 19s it has a similar feel. I mean, maybe even more so because of the age, but that kind of like new school feeling, like everyone's joining, and you're trying to work out like where you fit, who's your mates, who you might get along with. Because like who skippered that? Like because I also find that interesting. Like the England under 19s, like who just emerges as who everyone sort of sees as almost your lead, like that,
As
because
the
that kind of
skipper,
often,
yeah.
yeah, because that kind of often happens quite organically, which I think is quite an interesting thing within a group of guys. It can be like, this is the guy we all kind of listen to when he says stuff, and we can tell he's tactically switched on all the stuff you need for a cricket captain.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one because a lot of the 19 stuff is geared around the World Cup.
Yeah,
So my captain's actually McKinney. McKinney's a year younger than me. McKinney's what, 2 years younger than Bethel, but and Rue. But because he was going to the next World Cup and he was going to be captain at the next World Cup, he was named captain for the Sri Lanka
mm.
series, Abu Dhabi, and Australia. Apart from
Wow.
one game where Bethel captained that first game that we won in Australia.
All right. Okay.
But apart from that, it was McKinney, and it was. And you know what? To be fair to him, he was class. He was really good because the best thing he did was he didn't make it too serious because
Yeah.
can be quite a nervy thing, especially like you get picked for the 19s and it's a massive thing like for yourself and like you go and you play your first game and your family's there and you sing the national anthem and you get given your baggy cap with like the gold number on it and you're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like he just made a really good environment if it's like not like taking the piss, but like
Yeah.
joking around at times where
Yeah.
like at times where it would get quite tense, you'd sing the national
Break the
anthem.
tension. Yeah.
Yeah, and he would just take the piss, and it would just make you feel like you're just with your mates again playing cricket.
Yeah, and do you think that was like purely him driven, or do you think he got a bit of like from the coaches being like, this is almost a thing we really need from you or want from you? Is this like keep these boys light, keep them enjoying it? Like it should be fun.
No, that's just him. He's not an
Yeah,
intense
just
fella whatsoever. He's an
okay,
absolute piss taker,
nice.
um, who just happens to be an absolute gun at cricket. So
Yeah, he
it was
really
never
is
too intense, and I think he just made that
because
environment really good.
he's a big lad as well, isn't he? It's one of those where I can't tell if it's just on the screen he just is one of those who just seems like a big fella, or if he is
Now
like
he's ginormous, mate.
everyone's big to you, but to be fair, but you know,
You,
so
yeah, right. That's I've come on here as a favour to you.
yeah, that was harsh. That was harsh. It was
Yeah.
low hanging fruit.
All right, all right.
The fruit you get, I guess. Sorry. But the but yeah, because he has that kind of impression of just sort of like, especially when he's batting well, it's like almost not. I mean, saying KP vibes is a massive shout, but you get when you know what I mean. Like when a batter is like 6'4", 6'5", Graham Smith and all those kind of. There's something to it. They kind of own the space. I'm giving him massive
Yeah.
compliments now.
No, no, you're right. I mean, in that first game in Brisbane, I think
Mm.
it was there was a mental period because it was just when Bazball first started.
Well, I was going to ask that.
Yeah, and it was quite a weird time because no one really spoke about it, right? But like the England team were doing all this, and then all of a sudden, Rob Key flew over because it was when they were in Pakistan. We were in Abu Dhabi, and Rob Key flew over, and he just sat us down in a circle and was like, "Cricket is all about entertainment. Like, what is the point in drawing a game, right? Because no one's going to watch it. No one wants to be part of it. Like, you'd rather lose trying to win than never win and risk losing to draw.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
It is. I think it will be looked back on in such an interesting way, the Rob Key takeover, because, and I think
yeah.
you're right in the middle of it, and it's kind of at its genesis. It's quite an interesting point.
And there was a massive thing. So, yeah, I'm getting back to McKinney, don't worry. But
No,
basically,
no. I'm so invested in this. I'm
he,
so interested.
I played golf with him at Yas Links, I mean, I got like a phone call being like, "Oh, I heard you play golf. We're teeing off at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Cheers." Like, phone down. I was like, "All right." Play golf with him, and I remember being in the buggy with him, being like, "So, like, what's going on?" Like, I didn't say it like that. I was like, "Oh, Mr. Rob, Mr. Rob." Oh. Um,
Played
and
it
he
very
was
cool, I
like,
bet.
in my mind, there was a scenario of like, so opening batter goes out at the end of the day. He got 5 overs to survive. How is Bazball like keeping up with
Mm.
this? And he goes, no one in their right mind as a batter has ever gone into training or practice being like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm just going to practice blocking the absolute Christ out of it and not trying to get any runs just to survive. Right? That's not
Mm.
how people get picked for England. That's not how people get picked in county cricket because you need to score runs. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like people are more likely to play better cricket shots and middle the ball when they're trying to hit runs, when they're confident and they're like,
Yeah, yeah.
and going back to it, McKinney, we played in Brisbane, second innings. They had a lead of about 80, and we had to bat for about 25 minutes, half an hour. And he came off 58 red off about 30 balls. The bloke was
Yeah.
just like Callum Vidler bowling piss missiles,
Mm.
swinging it around, and he's just
Yeah.
walking at him and just like pongoing him back over his head. And
Yeah.
we're all sitting there in the changing room, like, or like in the dugout, looking at each other, just being like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And we finished the day 10 ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, I guess that's the thing is how it can change a game so quickly as well, isn't
Mm.
it? It's like it is a really because I think it's funny because it kind of rocked all kind of like real classic England. You know, when I was 16, I was talking about how the fact that Dom Sibley hasn't played for England is absolute travesty and all of that, and then 5 years later, the idea that sort of someone like and it's kind of it kind of has rocked the apple cart as people said because it's like the players we now can so someone like Bethel, there'd been the whole chat about him all summer. He's not played any county cricket. He's not even scored 100 until the one he scored the other day, which was
Yeah.
like one of the best one-day knocks you'll see. But like it kind of is what they're prioritising and emphasising is changed so quickly, and it's quite. I just think it's quite an interesting time for cricket in general, really, especially in England.
Yeah, you're right. And like on that knock, it was like some of the most entertaining, like your beans are going, like this is
Mm,
quality stuff
yeah,
you've ever seen. They're panicking, right? They're like,
yeah, yeah,
well,
exactly.
what do we actually have to put 5 blokes on the rope here with the new ball?
Mm,
And it was just great. It was so
yeah,
unconventional that it was like really refreshing. And we were like, fuck yeah. And
mm,
having been behind the game, we then walked off and we were all like, all right, come on then. And they were like, well, God knows what we do if they do this tomorrow.
yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, yeah. It's because it's interesting because I think you can kind of get stuck and as like a fan at this point, like you play to a certain extent and then quite quickly you realise you're a fan. But is that you can kind of get frustrated by it in certain senses and certain situations. Um, I guess and sort of a bit of a segue, but kind of on the same is the interest I think is how Bazball's going to like trying to affect or like the Bazball attitude because again they kind of talk about like Bazball doesn't really exist is how much of an effect it has on the counties because we talk about like the counties are kind of standalone bodies obviously they work within the ECB but it's not quite like the Australian system where they are literally like the states are kind of owned by Cricket Australia and it's all one and again, I'm not going to
Under
pretend I
one
know that.
umbrella, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to pretend I know the exact contracts that the ECB and Sussex have, say. But the kind of interesting bleed down, like how do you think that's happened? Do you think players like I don't know? I'm trying to think of people who aren't your teammates because like Haynes comes to mind of like someone who since Bazball he's just been panning it
Mm.
around, and he's probably always been an aggressive player, but he kind of went from that sort of 45, 50 strike rate opener to 65, 70.
Yeah.
And do you think it is as simple as like county cricketers are going like, well, now I know if I want to get into England in any case, England Lions, that I've got to show that I can do that kind of thing.
I think what it's done is really highlight the cricketers that want to play for England, right,
Yeah,
and think they have a chance of playing for England, and highlight the cricketers that are like, do you know what? I'm pretty happy playing county
yeah,
cricket. I've had my success playing my way. I'm going to keep playing my way. I mean, you look at Hainsey's been quality for years, right? And
Yeah,
in a
100%.
struggling Sussex team a couple of years ago, he was absolute stalwart. He had to bat time and he had to strike at 30, 40
Yeah,
in
sure.
order to
Yeah,
keep the
yeah,
game alive. Now, I mean, he's possibly first, maybe no, second, maybe first, knocking on the door for the next England spot.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I
if Ben
mean,
Duckett didn't exist, it would be like no
and
brainer.
that's him. He wants to play for England. He's bloody good enough to play for England, in my humble opinion. I don't,
Yeah,
but and he's worked hard on that. He scores runs fast now. He's so hard to bowl to.
mm,
Um, and in the same way, look at Sibley. Sibley was a
yeah,
bloke who physically, when he first played for England, I mean, they did things on him. He couldn't play the ball through the offside, or he just
mm.
would get across his stumps and work, and he'd score slowly. And now he scored the most runs in England in the county championship. He got not far off a runnable 100 batting on one leg the other day. I mean,
Mate, I'm a huge Dom Sibley guy. I went off on a tangent in the Omka Cop podcast of being like, because again, like to me, this winter is like Zach Crawley kind of do or die. Like if you've had played 60 Test matches up until away Ashes and you've averaged 30 as an opener, and basically everyone's like, well, he hits the ball really well at the top of the bounce. It's kind of like it has to happen in Australia. Otherwise, what are we waiting another 4 years till we go there again, sort of thing.
yeah,
Um, but what's interesting is that someone like Dom Sibley obviously won't get a shout, but it's like there's not I mean, I'd be interested. There's probably not a season in the last 5 years where, if you check their domestic scores, where Sibley wouldn't have scored more runs. But it's this interesting thing that what Crawley brings to the England team as like an opener who puts pressure on and all of that kind of thing. That's why you have to almost, we're talking about mindset switches for like you guys as players. It's almost as fans of being like, well, yeah, we shouldn't expect Zach Crawley to be Dom Sibley because he's not, and like England could be 70 for naught off 10 because of the openers they now have versus like 40 for naught off 10. You know, it's a weird, I don't
yeah,
know. It's kind of, it's trying to like reprogram your brain as like a England fan to be like, no, I don't want the opener who scored 1,000 runs every season for the last 5 years.
yeah.
I want the lad who averages just north of 30. But it's kind of hard to do, but it's sort of some part of me does
Tough.
try and do it, I guess.
I completely understand your argument, but yeah, I mean, I'm a massive Sibley guy. I think he's a gun.
Yeah,
I think he should be playing for England.
yeah, I like it.
It, it's a tough one because even sometimes I like Crawley is obviously also a gun, and when Crawley
Yeah, yeah,
is in form, he looks impossible to bowl at.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the argument is like even when he comes down to county cricket, he struggles. He hasn't got runs in county cricket this year. He hasn't. I
Mm,
get it. He hasn't played that many games, but if you're not scoring runs on what is a pretty flat deck down at Canterbury,
mm,
then I don't know. As opposed to Sibley, who plays on a
yeah,
fast nipper at the Oval,
I just share
and then
maybe.
he comes back to the question. It's like, well, what are they picking the England team from?
Mm,
Like blokes are scoring. Like he's about to score. He's on 1,200 runs this year. Sibley,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
1,200.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
averaging like loads.
Crawley's not sniffed that in 2 years.
Yeah, maybe like,
Yeah,
and so I just, yeah,
yeah. It's a
I'm on the
tricky one.
Sibley train because I just don't get where they pick the England team from.
Yeah. Well, again, this was something I was going to chat about to you like further into the podcast, but it kind of we've got to it now. Is that I think for me, I think one of the big things has been the Kookaburra Duke's Ball chat of the kind of last few years, and what I think it really shows is that ECB have noticed that yeah, we're not actually picking players from the county championship anymore. Like they're kind of almost they're now open about it in the sense of like players like Bethel and all of these kind of lads who are coming through who are just like jumping through domestic cricket, which again, in some ways I totally get. But them doing the Kookaburra Ball thing, I think, is them being like, well, how do we make it so we can find some level of like a marker of success in Kookaburra Ball is something we could go and hang our hat on about bringing someone through. What I can't understand is obviously the timing of it. Like, I don't understand doing it in the flattest, warmest bit of the year, like using a ball that moves less. Then I kind of understood there's some logic to it. But anyway, but it's kind of a roundabout way of what I'm trying to say is effectively like to you, do you think they're trying to get back to a point where county cricket performance equals test match play, or do you think these are kind of half-assed things that kind of don't really work and are kind of just, I don't know. It's a difficult question for you to answer because you know you're sort of within the setup. Do you see the Kookaburra being used as a good thing for like county cricket in general to kind of be more of a likelihood move into test match cricket? I guess is the question.
Yeah. Um, I mean, short answer,
Big question, I
I
realise. Yeah.
love the Kookaburra. I love the whole
Yeah.
point of
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Um, do you know the thing? I think that domestic cricket, his existence is to produce international cricketers. I
Cool.
get domestic cricket has its own bubble and it's
Mm-hmm.
like and it's brilliant. I love county cricket,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the whole point of it is to produce the best cricketer for England and for
Agreed.
England to be the best team in the world, right? So that's best case scenario. I think that the Kookaburra ball takes out. So in England, in the county championship, it's the one thing that you see that isn't doesn't happen in any other domestic competition in the world is you don't see blokes running up bowling genuinely 70 miles an hour,
Yeah.
right? Seamers and taking loads and loads of wickets
Yeah.
because
Being the most
they're
effective. Yeah.
wizards with a duke on a green
100%.
seamer, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, this is unbelievable. But are they ever going to get picked in an Ashes tour to go to Australia? No.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think the Kookaburra brings in the aspect of you need to bowl test match pace.
Yeah.
You need to have test match accuracy because you can't just get bailed out by a ball swinging around corners really late.
Yeah.
And the aspect of you go to nearly every country in the world is a country where something like reverse swing will come back into account, apart from
Mm.
England.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, who knows how to reverse swing a cricket ball in England? Like, do you know what I mean?
Mm. It's just not a thing. Like you're not
So,
taught it. You're not. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't think it should be. I think it should be used. I actually think it should be used for the drier parts of the season. I also
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
better for spinners. It's easier
Yeah.
to grip. It's got a more stitching so it can grip. When it
Interesting.
goes softer but doesn't lose its shape, so it flies with the seam like that. Sometimes a duke and the seam can be everywhere.
Mm.
I think it will help produce more spinners as well. But the only downside to it is in the wet months, it's not it's not created for that. It's created for dry cricket. The
Yeah.
Duke has a lot of lacquer. The water doesn't get underneath the leather, so the cricket ball when it gets wet is still fine. Kookaburra when it gets wet is just
Mm.
an absolute
Is it?
disgrace.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
so you have to pick and choose when you're going to use it, but I'm all for it.
Yeah,
Like,
because that's the interesting thing. I think is I understand that the reality is I never played a good enough standard cricket to like consistently use either. So you never know really. Like if you've never played with them, you can't really distinguish between the two in a way.
yeah,
And I think hearing your perspective is super interesting. Like that's like really open. Like, and I think I hope a lot of people who listen to this will have the same experience in the sense of like that is a bit of an eye opener. One thing I've seen chatted about, and I don't know if I agree with, but it's a funny thing. And it's actually funny enough. We were like chatting away with my brother and my dad literally last night about exactly this because I was thinking I might chat to you about it. Is that like, would you then say that almost to try and see an actual effect rather than doing it for 4 standalone weeks, that you actually do like, let's do 2 seasons of just Kookaburra Ball?
yeah.
Because it
I
actually
think
will
if you're going
make
to do
it.
it, you might as well go all in.
That's the kind of point,
Genuinely.
and it's how are you gonna create these players? Because what I've seen in the time where it's been in these 4 weeks is that you almost get like specialized overseas, which is a bit of a weird thing anyway, which has become more and more of a thing, which I'm not really against, but it's just an interesting thing. Like Sussex were a perfect example. Like it almost like as balls have come and gone, you've got a different seamer in, which is like not.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not as simple as that, but it's kind of like it's almost
Gurinder
seen
to
like that. Like
reverse. Yeah.
Corindu, yeah, exactly, all of that kind of stuff. And I think what is interesting is to me, it's like, yeah, if you're trying to make an effect on like what cricketers are going to be effective, if you're trying to get counties to buy in effectively, if you do like a season or 2 seasons, you are just going to start having more and more. And again, it's tough because you are basically talking about taking away a living from lads who've made a living for ages for being 70-mile-an-hour swing bowlers and do like sort of seam bowlers who've been really effective with the Duke's ball. But again, when you're talking about the reason it ever came into account is we went down to the Ashes last time and we looked like as far as we ever have done from winning a series down there, because it just was like, it was
Yeah,
one of those things. But you could argue that was much more just like the team, the mindset, the place that England
yeah,
were in at the time,
yeah,
rather than anything to do with our county setup. That's why it's we could do a whole standalone 2-hour special on the Kookaburra Duke's ball and not
yeah.
run out of things to talk about. So again, before we get lost in it, but it's a whole, yeah, it's a whole thing in it, I guess.
I think it makes the point like, I mean, it makes people upskilled, doesn't it? It's that
Yeah,
whole, that's the argument, and that's what Rob Key said about that, like, people you're not going to pick for England. That's who he means. It's just like
yeah,
keeper up pacers,
yeah.
right? And I just think it's going to make you upskill. It's going to make you go from maybe 70, 75 mile an hour to 80 mile an hour to 82 miles an hour. And then you create bowlers and makes you more accurate. You create your
Yeah.
bowlers like your Fergus O'Neill, who just looks like an absolute metronome, or
Yeah.
even someone like Ollie Robb, who just doesn't miss. Do
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, you create these high skill bowlers, like, and people forget about that last series. Ollie Robb, who got slated for not being fast enough, went down there, bowled like a wizard, and actually did really well.
I assure you, it does my head in like the kind of Ollie Robb slander, because it's like, have you seen his stats? Have
It's
you seen
ridiculous.
anywhere he went where it didn't go pretty well for him? No, you can't
Exactly.
point to it other than kind of whimsical. He's not fit enough, and again, obviously, like he's had his struggles with injuries and being fit enough to play in all the series. But it's like, so do most seam bowlers. Like no one's, I mean, a massive jump, but no one's talking about Bumrah and being like, oh well, he doesn't stay fit for a whole Test match series. We may as well not bother.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, obviously they're not the quite same caliber of, but like, Ollie Robb is averaging 22 in Test match cricket with an economy of under 3. It's like, what more do you want from a seam bowler? Like,
Yeah.
um,
And then
but
that's the
yeah,
thing. That's the upskilling, and it's because he was a
yeah,
miss. So I think if you get rid of the Duke and you bring in the Kookaburra, you create these bowlers who, if they're not going to bowl express pace, they're going to be bloody accurate. And
yeah,
these are the types of bowlers you can take to Australia, South Africa.
yeah. I guess the other side of it, and to like make the final like point, and I'll ask you last, like, but is that would you accept though, even if you understand, like the Kookaburra ball should be in the drier months because of the things that you said, which again is stuff that be honest, I didn't even really know.
Yeah.
Is that the fact that there obviously was so many more draws, or would you just say that is kind of always the case? Because again, I should do, and maybe I will do at some point, a kind of longer look of sort of 20 years August results, and that maybe it's well in line with how draws have always been around then, because it's just like the wickets are flatter, harder, etc. Or do you think the Kookaburra ball has led to maybe more, because it was a lot of things that wrote about that the game Sibley got 300 in, and it was like the most runs ever in a
Yeah,
first
against
innings of a
Durham.
round. Yeah, so it's like it's an interesting one where it's like, do you think there will be a period of which where the bowlers haven't upskilled yet and the batters are still as good as they were, that basically you have the 800s and 700s scored and whatever, like Adam Ho's got
I
260 at Oval and at the Utilita Bowl and stuff.
I think it will bring back like a traditional 4-day pitch where
Yeah, interesting.
I don't think places nowadays have traditional 4-day pitches where, like, you go back and we had a chat about this like not that long ago, when
Yeah,
I remember growing up, like, you'd watch test matches and let's say like Australia versus England at Lords. I can't remember what it was, like 2015 or whenever it was, Swan.
mm,
Like, it was like seamers took wickets on first couple of days, then it like flattened out a little bit and batting started to come, and then all of a sudden it starts spinning, right? Dries out a little bit. You don't see that anymore. You don't see
yeah,
that
agreed.
anywhere. You either see pitches where clubs have got rakes onto them to try and make them turn sideways, right?
Yeah,
Or you just see green seamers or highways. You don't
yeah,
see a genuinely good cricket wicket.
yeah.
Like,
No, I think it's something that's been one of the things I've bemoaned of Bazball, is that I feel like there has been a bit of like the pitches kind of like
just flat.
it's it's the idea that basically more runs equals more entertainment, which I just don't agree with. I think some of the best Test matches ever end in a like we're defending 150, but the pitch is doing all sorts, and like that makes a really good, great, entertaining like product. So I think it's an interesting one. I think it's clearly in like a transition period, but I think you're so dead on in the sense of like the pitches themselves are just not of the kind of, it's not even like the caliber, because obviously the groundsmen haven't lost any kind of, lost any skill. It's like they're kind of just not of the what you would want from a cricket pitch, I guess.
It's the thinking about it. Like the umpires will rank the pitch at the end, or whoever ranks the bloody pitch at the end. Basically, the flatter it is, the better it gets ranked.
Yeah.
So if a pitch does absolutely
crazy,
nothing, like good bounce, good carry, like you want that, fine. No seam movement or anything like that, no spin. Oh, great wicket. I completely disagree with that. I think a good wicket is something which creates a good contest between bat and ball. Yeah, you can have good pace, good bounce, right? Like good carry, because it helps the seamers to get it through. If they nick it, you're going to carry, right? A little bit of seam movement. And back into day 3, day 4, it should spin. I think that is a good cricket wicket.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're talking common sense, as you say. And again, it's all these funny little what's the word? Like incidences that you wouldn't really consider. Like, yeah, it makes sense that the umpires have to grade pitches like they do anywhere, but the kind of criteria at this point might just be like, yeah, how true it is. But that doesn't necessarily mean, like for a 4-day pitch that makes it any better. I mean, I guess, and again, I don't know, like, because you were a part of one of the clubs, but Hampshire obviously got docked that 8 points in the last week.
Yeah,
for a pitch
Sussex,
against Sussex, and Cast got loads of wickets. And I found it interesting that, and again, it might be harsh to kind of pile on Worcestershire this year, but New Road all year have had 200 less, and again, New Road is sort of underwater, as what people will say, and all of that. But kind of all year, there's been 200 play 200, 150 plays 150, pretty much. I mean, there's been a few exceptions, of course. But then Hampshire have had the flattest deck, well, not the flattest deck all year, but they've had big scores all year. And then they use a used pitch once. It turns probably more than they hoped it would. And they get docked 8 points. Again, I'm not really asking you to say if that's fair or not, or because again, it's, a tricky situation, but it's more a case of, I can't understand, as much as I get it. And I saw the quotes like Farbrace, and I think even the Hampshire guys were being it was just probably a bad decision. They just they underestimated how worn it would be, etc. But to me, it just seemed that's put them in the middle of a relegation battle now.
Yeah,
where they otherwise probably would have been a bit more like Sussex were, and kind of on the outside looking in. And I guess I don't want to put you in a tricky situation, because I understand it's all very fresh and what have you. But I thought that was interesting, and I don't really understand how that works. But I just saw that they got a points deduction for a bad pitch, and I'm like, well, a spinner got wickets. Does that make it a bad pitch? I don't know. It's just in England, we're so wired for pitches to be good for seam bowling, good for batting. And then suddenly, I watched a lot of that game. I wouldn't say it was a ridiculous contest where you're oh, there was no chance that, batters were getting out to good balls on a turning wicket. Don't get me wrong, Cast is a quality spinner. But it's to me, it didn't look like that's not cricket. You see wickets and you're that's just, no one could play on that, yada, yada, yada. Again, maybe it's just my perspective. Maybe I'm just a Sussex fan who enjoyed seeing my mate get wickets, and my mate, you know what I mean, ladder, I know well from school, and I was happy. But I don't know, I just thought it was harsh. But again, man's opinion and all that.
I actually agree with you. I mean, it's tough to put Worcester in the same category. I mean,
yeah.
If your ground floods 12 times in 2 months, fully floods, then you're always going to be struggling. I mean, that is
fair. I was more just thinking of another place where...
Yeah, it's a bit of a different conversation, because they can't sell the ground because it's on a floodplain and everything like that. So it's a tricky situation.
Yeah,
the one with Hampshire, I actually agree with you. It's oh my God, a spinner's taking wickets. Oh, let's dock them points. If you go and look at some of that, there's some bad shots played.
Yeah, exactly.
Some really bad cricket shots played to spin there. And it's not like it's spinning any more than it would do in a test match in India.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And why every now and then can't that be a thing?
Yeah. And that's the other thing, is the obsession with... Sorry, I'm trying to make sure we don't get lost in just Kookaburra Duke's ball chat. But it's also the whole obsession with Kookaburra ball. We don't have any obsession of trying to use the SG ball on a really... on turning decks that might be, because other than... Obviously, we won in India when Cook was captain in, 2011, with Monty and Graham, and they did unbelievable. But I think it's been more, if I was like a cricket fan, I'd be more like, have we ever looked even close to beating India in the last 14, 15 years? I mean, again, same was it the Ashes. I don't think we have either in India. But it's like, again, it's funny the things that, because we're England, we get so hyper fixated on having to beat Australia, which I get. Obviously, as an England fan, I want us to beat Australia more than anyone. But it's like, yeah, again, you have a situation where there's a turning pitch, and like, how do we reward a turning pitch? Again, yeah, I'm getting
my God,
lost
it's
and
turning
getting a
pitch.
bit
What the
babbly.
hell?
Yeah,
But like
it's like,
Somerset,
that's not cricket.
Somerset's the worst one. Somerset, like, right, that is actually ridiculous because they create like green seaming spinners. Like you turn up and it looks like
The pitches always look
looks
crazy.
like
that
your
is
back
fair.
garden, right? And then all of a sudden Jack Leach is turning it sideways. Like, this is ridiculous. But that should be docked. But I agree with you. So you want the argument is, so you're gonna create a Kookaburra and you want like fast pitches go to Australia, but at the same time you never want, like, we don't want in India, right? Nowhere spins. You're not gonna produce a spinner. Everyone's talking about, like, in Australia, you're gonna need a spinner, even if it's to go at 2.5 and over, right?
Yeah.
It spins. The SCG spins. Perth can spin. Like, you're gonna need one. Nowhere turns, right? And then all of a sudden, like, you're playing against like Hampshire playing, and some spinner takes a couple of wickets because it's turning, and everyone's like, "Oh, dock them points."
Yeah,
because
it's also like, it also feeds into like Test match wickets in India have been like, from English sides and Australian sides, massively criticised, and I think India fans have a fair shout to be like, but we don't complain when we get bowled out for 100 in England because we're not playing a swinging ball well. Like,
yeah,
we shouldn't complain when we go to India and get bowled out for 79. Of course, there are some cases where there's pitches and you're like, but like, you know, I'm just saying, it's like, I can understand the hypocrisy argument from maybe Indian cricket fans and people who are just general sports or cricket fans from around the world are kind of like, you know, that's kind of home away. That's kind of the whole point. It's interesting, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, I completely agree with you. I mean, finishing off on it, I am pro Kookaburra because I think it'll
I love that.
create better seam bowlers and spinners and better cricket pitches in England.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think that in many ways is a perfect like takeaway point from that. And I guess, speaking of the Kookaburra ball, we'll move on to something I was interested to ask you about. Is obviously you've been in overseas at Manly Cricket Club out in Sydney for, is it 2 years now? So like, are you going out this winter? So this will be
I'm
your
not
third
going
year?
this year.
Okay, so it's two.
I did two. Yeah.
Nice. But like, how was that? I mean, obviously, I can only imagine as sort of like an English lad out in Manly, sort of from your ages 19, 20 were the years you were, like, you didn't it? Obviously.
Yeah, 18, 19, and then
18,
19, 20.
Yeah. So it's like being like just a young lad out in Manly, being there overseas. Just like, how was that experience? Obviously, you would have been using the Kookaburra ball there, I assume. No, talking about it.
Yep, used Kookaburra out there. I mean, I loved every second of it, mate.
Yeah.
I'm someone who loves cricket when there's something to play for. Like sometimes I struggle in like second team games for Sussex, like to get into, like, you're not playing for anything, you're not playing for a trophy. Do you know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
But you go to Australia and you play, and grade cricket. I mean, they call it like Sydney Test cricket. They think it's so like it's mental how intense and like seriously they take it compared to club cricket here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
it's like, it's their life, mate. There's like blokes rocking up on a Tuesday night when it's like raining, steaming in these like shit nets, and there's like blokes just standing there like they're like going at each other with a brand new ball, and the coaches are loving it, just like, yeah, get into him, yeah. Like, what is going on? This is ridiculous. But it's great. Like, I loved it, and like the fariness of it. Every Saturday is like the FA Cup final.
Yeah. And they do 2-day matches out there, don't they? Like a Saturday, then another Saturday for back-to-back weeks. You're playing the same place. Yeah.
It's all about creating the next best Australian cricketer.
Yeah.
It's like, you have a full day to bowl a team out. You have a full day to bat. You then, like, if you do well, like, it's basically trying to replicate this close to Test cricket as possible.
Yeah.
And that's what's brilliant about it, because the whole of the Australian setup from bottom to top is to create the next Pat Cummins, Steve Smith, like whoever, and it's intense. And so when
Yeah,
you go up the next level, I assume it's not as big a jump because
yeah.
you're getting just as abused in grade cricket as you are in anything
You
else.
would in state or domestic. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. Would you say that's something you would say if like if you were like an Englishman person bringing back something from grey cricket, that something like 2 day cricket in a season would be a bad thing or a good thing? Sorry, the other way around.
Uh, yeah, their weather's better.
True.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
putting a lot more up to chance if you start doing two. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you lose 2 weeks, then even if one
Mm.
day's rained off.
Then it gets
Um,
quite unfair. Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, but I think it is great. You'll never have a setup in England as you do in Australia
Yeah.
because I don't. There's too many teams. Do you know what I mean? There's too
Mm.
many. Like, look at Sussex. There's like 12 divisions. That's like ridiculous.
It is
You would
insane.
have to get rid of 6 divisions
Yeah.
in order to then
It's,
create, and then you like really like I don't know the word, concentrate all of the talent, and then you can create something like that.
Yeah, but it's an interesting one because it's like cricket in England is almost so community based that it compared to like somewhere like Australia where I feel, and I would love to go out there and play some cricket out there, but it feels a lot more like a one succinct movement, like we're all going in this direction. Whereas in England, as you say, because there's so much more, and there's been a bit of a worry in England of late that like smaller clubs are kind of disappearing and getting absorbed into bigger clubs, just by the nature of basically capitalism and how it works and how money works effectively, more equals more. That will that then lead itself in we're talking 50 years, 100 years time, like to making it more of a direct move. It's hard to know, but it's a weird one because out there it does just seem like the level of cricketer that comes out, and that like I can speak to it. It's like playing random cricketers and they're like, oh, he's a grade A cricketer, and you play them and you're just like, what the hell? Like you're as good as like domestic players, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you're just like you are so good. I remember it was like the last day of a cricket tour I go on, and we're hungover, dead, play 6 days in a row, and you play in the seventh game, and this really tall, good-looking Aussie lad's chatting to everyone. We're like, oh god, it's not a good sign. Turns out he was a Perth grade A cricketer, and he scored 95 off 25 balls against us. And we had like quite good cricketers. Like it's not like we're all terrible lads who are just chucking up pies. And he was just stood there, still, just smashing it so far. And like because it just feels like the kind of level of like also kind of the way they view cricket is just like to dominate. Like it's like I'm not playing
Genuinely.
here to just knock it round, like declaration cricket. Like I'll get a really nice looking 100, like you would get in England. Like I don't know, I feel like if you played in like a game well below your stanchion, you probably just play, because it's kind of almost quite English in a way. Whereas
So
Australians,
it's
it's like cricket,
polite,
it's like
yeah.
it's literally
Mate,
polite. Whereas in Australian, it's like I'm here playing a game of sport. I want to beat your team, and you're bowling this, which I think I can hit 100 meters over there.
yeah.
Why would I not hit it 100 meters over there, sort of thing?
Literally, I mean, grade cricket to them can be like everything. I played in a
Mm.
first grade grand final
Yeah.
for Manly against St George, right?
Mm.
And we'd have had 5 New South Wales pros playing. And I remember they'd have had about 5 or 6 as well.
Mm. Yeah,
And I
yeah,
remember standing at like third slip, and I had like 2 of the pros like on my left, one on my right. The keeper was one of the coaches for the Blues,
yeah. Right.
and this bloke's batting, right? And he plays New South Wales, and they were hosing him, mate. Like absolutely rinsing him, like
Yeah, yeah,
their teammate.
yeah,
And I was just sitting there, just like I was thinking, bloody hell, it's like one of the Sussex lads come into like Horsham,
yeah,
being
yeah,
absolutely rinsed by their teammates. Like
yeah.
it's mental because they take it's everything. That's how
Mm.
important it is to them.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. I think it's an interesting one, just seeing like the difference, isn't it? It's just like I think that's a part of it. I mean, maybe would that be your main takeaway from it? Was that it brought out and like made you really work on almost that fieriness and in the contest and like, right, this is a game mano v mano kind of thing. Do you think that like was like if you were looking at you and upskilling, if you will, like the skills that you kind of got from it?
it just brought that competitiveness out of me.
Yeah,
I've always played better in a bigger occasion. Like the
yeah,
bigger the occasion, the bigger the game, the better I always play because I'm really naturally competitive. I hate losing and I hate someone getting one up on me. So especially when I bowl, I that's when I'll like get into a rhythm really quickly. I'll get into a zone
mm,
and I feel like I can't miss sometimes. Like
yeah,
there's been a couple of times, oh, like normally all in Australia. Like I think it's 5 times I can remember playing all in Australia where I remember bowling and just thinking, I don't think I can miss. Like
yeah,
this is really on here because I was so involved in the contest,
yeah.
and it's just a testament to the environment. And it's no wonder they produce so many good cricketers.
Mm. Yeah, I mean that's brilliant. Yeah, because well, there's got a question I was actually going to ask you. Is it been out there where you felt like I'm in the best form of my life, almost like you was like I'm playing as well as I've
Oh,
played?
easily.
Mm. And you think that's
I've
almost
never
environment
played as
based as
well.
well?
I've never played as well in England as I have done in Australia.
Did you hear that, Rob Key? Take Bertie as your spinner, and all will be fine. But
uh,
no, that is really interesting, and whether or not it's environment as well as anything, and it's a quite a it's quite a unique thing about cricket, I guess, in a way as well. Um, but yeah, I mean that's great to hear. It's nice. It's nice to hear for you that you've gone out there and got exactly what you kind of need from it. I mean, it's like a feeling that is kind of I can imagine quite a because I mean, and you haven't said it. I'm the one bringing it up, but did you win like man of the like season out there or player of the season? I don't know how they call it, but I feel like I remember seeing Manly post something and you reposting it. I could be wrong.
yeah, one. It's called the Bill O'Reilly Medal.
Yeah.
So it's first grade Sydney Player of the Season.
Wow. I mean, that's a pretty good thing to have on the resume. I'd have to assume
Thanks,
there's
mate.
some good players, pretty good players who've had that medal.
I think there's been
You can
five
list them
other
off if you'd like.
Englishmen.
5 other Englishmen, do you say?
Yeah, in since it started.
Right.
I know Tony Gregg was one, and Boycott was another.
Jesus. Wow.
The last one was Mason Crane. Do you remember that year he played for England?
Yeah. I
Because he
didn't know
played
he'd
for
gone down.
he played for Gordon
Yeah.
in first grade. Did really well. Then played a game for New South Wales in the Sheffield Shield. Yeah, and then played for
That
England.
is something passed me by. That he played for New South Wales in a game. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Maybe
But
after
so
Nathan Crane, they were like, no more English people.
yeah, Boycott, Greg, Chris
You're
Adams
just
might have
missing
won it.
one. Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, those are some serious, serious names.
Oh, and Salisbury.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sals.
There you go. Fuck. Yeah, that is a pretty good list of names to add yourself onto as an Englishman. So yeah, what's the plan this winter? I guess as you were saying, you're not doing it. Is there an alternative, or are you just stay in the UK?
Just
Sort
stay in
of.
the UK, look after myself
Yeah,
a bit. I played
yeah, yeah,
loads of cricket, mate. Like
yeah,
so
yeah,
much, and sometimes it can play on your mind a bit and be a bit like,
mm,
oh, another game,
yeah.
and you find it hard to get that competitiveness back for it because you're playing
100%.
so
Yeah,
often. So I think just a little reset for that will be good for
yeah.
me
That'd be
this
great.
winter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't had a Christmas in England in about 3 years, so
Yeah, God, I imagine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I did 2 back to back down in Oz because my sister lives out there, and it feels so weird having that many like hot Christmases. It's just like I feel a
yeah,
bit. It always feels a bit. I guess it's a shame you won't be out there for the Ad Ashes tour though. I guess is the one. That'd be good crack with the lads
that's
you've
the
been playing with.
gutting
I bet,
thing.
but yeah, yeah. But I mean, you've got to take a break at some point, sort of thing.
Mm.
Because cricket is quite unique in that sort of burnout thing. There's so many good examples. But anyway, moving back to kind of English cricket, domestic cricket in a way, I guess it's just a more of a general question of like life as a county cricketer, and obviously you'd say it of yourself. You played a lot of second 11 cricket, and I think from outside cricket fans of just like fans of domestic cricket, they kind of it's an interesting aspect that I guess won't be talked about much. It's not the most sexy thing in the world. Second 11
No.
domestic cricket, as I'm sure you know, and all of it. But I guess what I'm just as interesting as sort of the experience of it. Is there anything I guess maybe you would change? Because you were saying about like there being something to play for. Like I feel like I always see this second 11 championship, but I have no idea where it goes. I don't know what you're actually playing for if you're playing for anything. So is there anything you'd change? I guess, and is there anything just the experience of it itself?
I don't really know what you could change, to be
Mm.
honest.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, you have your set pros that play most games. It's usually about 5 or 6, and then you have
Yeah,
your like aspiring academy lads who are doing well, and then you have your trialists who come and play. And so the team's ever changing.
yeah,
I mean, I think it is what you make it.
sure.
Like there is apparently, I only found this out the other day. I've been playing in this competition for about 5 years, and I've only
Yeah,
found out the
yeah,
other day that there's a final. Um,
yeah.
but like we played against Worcester in it the other day, and they were like, they took it seriously. It was like a game
Mm,
they really wanted to win, and it's not like we didn't want to win it, but like some teams view the second 11 as an individual stepping stone to get to the first team,
yeah, sure.
which is fine. I mean, take it as you want, but it just depends on as a player what gets you going, what's gonna get the best out of you. For me, I need competitiveness.
Yeah,
I don't need it doesn't matter if you win or lose, just go and do as well as you can to get yourself in the first team.
yeah. It's a weird thing for a team sport
Yeah,
to end up being like, oh yeah, just play for yourself a bit, which
a
does
little
feel weird.
bit, but it is what you make it. Some teams make it, we're going to win the trophy,
Mm.
but then it just depends on what team you have throughout the year.
Yeah. And do you think that comes from the leadership of like this? Because there's always second 11 coaches and managers or whatever
Yeah,
their sort of their title is. Do you think it comes from them a lot, or do you think certain coaches will look at it being like, we know what this is, you know, you're here to try and do your best for your own career, and other coaches will look at it like, I'm the head coach of this, I want to win it, sort of thing.
it's just down to the coach. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, our coaches very much will talk to people individually and just be like, I just want you to do really well. Just make
Mm.
sure you're doing well.
Yeah.
So you don't really have that team aspect,
Yeah.
but it could work for some people really well
Yeah. Yeah.
personally. And at the end of the day, their job is to get people through the second team to the first team.
Yeah.
So whatever they think is going to work the best.
And I guess the last thing, not the last thing I'll say about second 11 cricket is, but do you think it is a good enough marker of, you know, I don't know, there's good examples of players who like will just score, like Joe Cracknell, for example, Middlesex.
Mm,
He's a lad I knew from uni, and
he's a
like
good player.
he's been like a perfect example. Like he scored buckets of runs for second 11 for Middlesex, and then came in and is now, you know, he was batting either opening or batting three, and now he's being their keeper bat and has done really well. And he's an example of someone who's like the perfect example about how second 11 cricket should work. Like just score hundreds
Yeah.
of runs and you'll get in the first class. Do you think that happens enough? Do you think that is a good, like, do you think it's a good enough standard that it is a good step up? Or do you think, I don't know, I guess I'm just asking, do you think it works well? Do you think it could
What
be
else is
better?
there?
Yeah, well, exactly. There isn't. That's the thing. Yeah.
There isn't an alternative. I
Yeah.
think it's you can only play what's in front of you. Take as many
Mm,
wickets, score as many runs as you can, and get picked off that.
yeah. Do you think there could be a case where you think, I'm just looking at it as like, is how do you get it to be the best, like that almost you have a combined county sort of thing and it becomes a smaller thing. So then there is more of a, it's hard to imagine because it's so different to what it's ever been. So, but do you think that wouldn't work just by the nature of how counties are kind of all competing? So then yeah, because if all the counties are competing, how do you then make, you know, 10 teams out of 28 or whatever it is,
It's theoretic. It's
or
just
18?
I don't really know the answer, to be honest, mate. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what theoretic
yeah,
situation we could think of
yeah,
which
yeah.
could make it better.
No,
I
no,
think
it's
it just
fair.
is what it is. Sometimes you have to take it with a pinch of salt
Yeah, no, I
and
think
just do your
that's
best.
fair. Yeah, is it? And yeah, I guess the last thing I was just wanting to touch on was second 11 cricket, because at this point it's probably weird. I mean, maybe you've not ever considered this, but is this at this point probably the most cricket you've played is for any club almost? It would be Sussex second 11. Is that would
Mm.
that be wrong? Do you reckon at this point, or maybe
Oh,
Manly would be close, but
I'd have played a lot of games for the
yeah,
Toots, yeah.
because you were coming through so young as well as have stayed not and again not to, but you know it's just it kind of. But what I was going to say is, how is it with the kind of team dynamic? Do you just end up being like, are you just hang out with your mates, or is it a situation where you are trying to get, you know, some young lads coming in and you try and be like, this is what it's like, this is what we do? And I guess I'm interested on that kind of team dynamic side of it, which I kind of always am, but with the two stuff.
It depends. Like sometimes you go out for team dinners, that's everyone.
Mm,
A lot of the time, like you just like you might go out for a beer with your mates and go for dinner, like three or
mm,
four of you.
yeah.
and you just stick in like your own little like sometimes if you don't know someone that well, like the twos can be
Yeah,
a pretty dark place to be as well because you
yeah,
don't necessarily you want to be in the first team, you want to be achieving more a lot of the time. Like you're open and like if someone says, "Oh, can I come?" Of course they can come, but
yeah, yeah,
naturally you just want to spend time with your mates and you
yeah.
just want to chill,
Yeah, no,
get
no.
away
It's
from
like
cricket.
it's like yeah, it's like anyone who's doing a professional thing of anywhere. Like if you're moving around and you're with people you might work with, but you're not everyone's going to be your best pal, I guess. So yeah, no, makes total sense. It's just a I just think it's a kind of again, it's like many things that are quite unique about cricket. I think county cricket, second 11 stuff is kind of is quite a unique thing. So I just and probably not talked about all that often, but I just found it as an interesting thing to bring up in a way.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but I guess sort of similar-ish because talking about the kind of traveling around and all of that is what I wanted to ask is sort of where's your like favorite place to play? I mean, I'll give you a few here. You could do a little short list. You could do like favorite place because of like you just have a nice like relationship to it from your heart, or just like you looked up and you're like, oh my god, this is the most beautiful place ever, or good experience, wickets, runs, whatever. Just the floor is yours.
The favorite place I've ever played, and
Mm,
I've been fortunate enough, I've only played one game there.
right,
I played a T20 at the SCG, like
that
a
is serious.
pre-Big Bash.
Yeah.
The Sixers were having like a inter-squad thing, and they asked me to come and play,
Oh,
and it was sick.
that is
That was
very cool.
cool.
Were you wearing Sydney Sixers stash as well?
Yeah, don't yeah, I got
Yeah,
some stash. It was
yeah,
good.
because I don't even like the Sydney Sixers as like my team for the Big Bash, but I reckon their stash it's probably got to be up
So
there.
good.
Yeah, pure.
Like the Nike stuff, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Off the top of my head, I've been to Lords so many times but not played. Like ran
Really,
drinks
yeah,
on
yeah,
there,
yeah.
loads. Same with the Oval. Like ran drinks on loads, not played. I'll tell you one which I don't know, some people don't like it, but I
Mm,
do quite like it. I made my first class debut for Worcester there.
mm.
Not New Road, Edgbaston.
Edinburgh. Yeah, just
It's just cool. It's
yeah,
got
yeah.
that it has that like arena kind of feel to it
Sure.
where
Okay. Yeah.
like you walk out to the middle and everything's kind of like on top of you, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
nice. It's not open at all, obviously, with the
Mm,
big stands, and I think
proper.
that's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, off the top of my head, those are my favourites. I love Manly Oval.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just, that's just it's just cool. It's right in the middle of town. It's really near the beach. Like you go for a swim at lunch. Like it's a proper nice way to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would go for those three:
Yeah.
Edgbaston, SCG, Manly Oval.
It's not a bad tight three that. Um,
Yeah.
is there? I guess as sort of the other way of looking at it, is there anywhere? And again, it could be somewhere you've like ran drinks on, but is there anywhere you've not played or and you just like that would be a really cool place to play, or I guess not even like place to play, but it's just kind of like experience to do. Like it could be one of those, a ground you've just
Yeah.
seen in a picture book and you're like, that looks cool just to see it. But also, I can imagine because there's so many, something again, me and Omka talked about so many outgrounds in the UK. Like there's like Arundel's a famous one for us around Sussex, but like almost anywhere you go in the UK, there's like these kind of niche grounds which aren't maybe a home ground. But is there anywhere you're like, oh, that'd be one day, it'd be a really cool thing if I just lucky enough to play at X or.
Yeah. I mean, not quite an outground, but I always thought
Yeah.
MCG would be a cool one.
It's a fair shout.
Not
It's a fair
not
shout.
not exactly
I
Arundel.
think it's probably about the opposite of an outground as you can get, like
Yeah.
100,000 people.
MCG's just looks cool,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Like
I'm
really
there
cool.
for this Boxing Day, mate.
Are
I'm
you?
gassed. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's great.
With
I didn't
since
realise.
my sister got married to an Aussie, my mum was like, with one Christmas, we will be there. It's 2025, 2026.
I didn't realise it gets built like into the ground. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
well,
it goes
the pitch.
down.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, yeah. It's
Like if
crazy.
you look for like into it,
Mm.
you look through like a door or something like that. The pitch is below.
Oh, mate, it's genuinely like I've gone to see AFL there. I've gone to see South Africa, Australia there, and so for South Africa, Australia Boxing Day, I reckon it was like 60% full maybe, and it was like just like a noise. You just like not used to when the Aussies got a wicket, and it's just like everyone wakes up, it's like roar, and you're like bloody hell.
Yeah, that
I
is
can't
cool.
even imagine like Boxing Day sellout, and again just whilst on the beers trying to hold in it
Yeah.
aggressive shouts for being English, because it's like, because being there when it was Australia South Africa, I obviously wanted South Africa to win, you doy, but like I was like wearing like a kind of quite Aussie coded shirt, and I have quite tan skin, so you kind of don't come across as an obvious palm. Whereas like when I'm like six
Yeah,
schooners
especially
deep,
your stupid salad going on upstairs as well.
this winter I'll at least have a little another thing to kind of throw them off. But
Yeah.
the literally, whilst I've had a few beers, trying to hide in the fact that I'm going to be an aggressive England fan is going to be a tricky one. But the MCG would be, I mean, just to play out, I can't even imagine how cool that would be.
And off the top of my head, just because it spins at both of them, I'm gonna go the Wankady
Yeah.
in Mumbai and
Yeah.
Gaul. I
Love
think
it.
Gaul looks cool.
Gaul is somewhere that I want to watch cricket at. Like, it just look like every time you see it on
Yeah.
the telly, it just like looks like a really cool ground for sure.
My older brother played at Gaul, and he said it was
Did he?
sick. Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah.
No, no,
Charlie, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for
I
Brighton
was gonna
College
say.
on a
Yeah.
tour. And he said that I think he told me a story about like there was like a pipe like along where he was fielding or something like that, and like a snake came out of it or something like that. Yeah.
It really sounds like literally a
Oh,
magical place.
yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I felt that. It sounds sick, mate. Yeah.
Well, I mean, this has been like absolutely brilliant, mate. And we could chat for hours and hours, and I'm sure in the future it'd be great to have you back on. But I think I'm wanting to do and sort of a little fun thing to finish off for the people that come on and yourself is sort of like you're the skipper of a team. It can be past, present, they can be dead or alive, but it can be kind of vibes, it can be quality of player, you just love to see them. And it could be, you could be a mate from, you could want Ben McKinney because he's good crack, and then see him opening up with Bumble. But I don't know why, when I was thinking about like things we could chat about, I thought it would just be interesting for pro cricketers to kind of be able to just sort of almost nerd out, like who are your like legends that you would just like love to have, like in the dream world where there's nothing kind of stopping you, there's no nations connection, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
I just want so build your perfect 11, talk me through it. You can go as much like needs to be conventional, like you can't pick another spinner because you're the skipper in the spinner, or you can go like,
Oh, I'm playing.
pick only.
Right. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're the skipper. Or you can look at it as like you're the 12th man and manager, and you're picking an 11.
Okay.
You're the first guy doing this segment, Bert. So Dream 11 is all you.
Right. Hang on. I'm just gonna.
You gotta get something to write down. I love it.
It. Right. I'm opening up with McKinney.
I love it.
Good crack. Like big lad, bit of a daunting figure, and he's opening up with Matt Hayden.
So strong.
Like absolute aura farming, dick swinging openers.
I love it. I can see how the mold of this team is forming already.
Yeah. Just aura. I'm gonna have. Who am I going to have at 3?
And I guess you could have some like sneaky ones, like, maybe a player that you've bowled to or seen play, and you're just like, no one knows how good he is, but he is this good. Again, I'm not trying to influence you. I'm
going for aura.
No, I like it. Yeah.
I'm having. Oh, do I have Steve Smith at 3?
Oh, it's a big shout.
All right, Root at 3.
Yeah, I like it.
Smith at 4.
Serious team.
Steve Smith at 4. Sangakkara at 5.
Oh, I love it. Keeper? Is he keeping for you, or have we got a keeper coming?
He can have the gloves.
No, he's earned that.
6. Oh God, I'm trying to think of a 6 now. This is hard,
But no, it's hard. But I don't. It also doesn't need to be a team that like could win every. You've got you could have your all rounder from Horsham who's a good lad. I don't know. I'm chatting out my arse, but
just for absolute piss taking ability, Joe Willis.
I genuinely thought when I was going to do this with you, we were going to get a Joe Willis shout purely for chat. No, I'm kind of here for it. Joe Willis shout out on the county chat. There you go.
Shithousery. 7.
Imagine that. I'm just loving the idea of Root, Smith,
Sangakkara Willis. I've got Hayden, Root, Smith, Sangakkara Willis.
And then you got McKinney just snuck in there.
Yeah.
This is this is exactly kind of what I hoped it would be. Is just this kind of like imagining this team just coming together and playing together is just like almost like quite childlike exercise.
Yeah,
So who's starting out the kind of the lower order, I guess.
Yeah, do we need an all rounder in there? Do we?
Oh, mate! Again, the world is your oyster. The Dream 11 is your oyster.
Right.
So you can go like pure bowler. You can go. I don't know. Just
Right.
do you, mate. Follow your own guidance.
Right. We're gonna have pre-injury and
Okay.
max anger Wilfred
Okay.
Tunley Lowe.
Love it.
Right.
I
But
feel like I
those
may sway you in there.
those are like that's the criteria. If you're
Yeah.
not, I need you at maximum anger
Yeah. No, that's fair.
because
That's fair.
bowling good pace. Right, 8, and I think he'll be slightly annoyed to be batting below Tunley Lowe. I'll have Shane Warne. Is that 8?
You know,
1,
you've
2,
got a bowling
3,
all-rounder
4,
slot.
5,
You've got to
6,
fill it
7,
with a
8.
player. You know.
8, right. So 9, 10, 11. You got your seam bowlers.
Yeah.
Who's the big 3?
You've
We're
already
gonna
named one, haven't
have. We have already named one of them. Right then.
Yeah, how are you gonna bring a left armour in for a bit of variation, or do you want you just going purely like who's your best 3?
Yeah. Oh, I could bring a left armour in, couldn't I?
Sorry, I've now made it more
Yeah.
complicated.
Now you're just throwing me off. Right. I'm gonna have Joff at 9.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I'll have Jofra at 9. I'll have. Oh, you're testing me here.
By the way, I'm really enjoying how seriously you're taking this. If nothing else,
No.
I really hope that every guy who comes on and I get to do this segment brings out a notepad and a back of a
Yeah. No, I need to make sure I've got 11 and the makeup of the team is good.
Yeah, 100%.
Who else could I have?
Who's a bowler who you've faced? You could go Callum Vidler, or like, you know what I mean, someone you've just faced and be like, I've got no chance,
got
but
no idea.
this is like.
Well, I mean, half of the county setup could then be a number 10 in this team. Right, number 10. Jesus Christ. We'll have. I don't know whether to go for vibes or because they're actually good at cricket.
I think you've got a good strong dosing of both, so I think you go either way. But I reckon vibes is always a fun.
Right, so one vibes, one good at cricket.
Yeah, why not? Because
right, so
the vibes 11 are getting carried a bit. Me and Willis, so we need some help.
Right,
and McKinney, but McKinney's a bit of a better player than me and Willis.
We can have McGrath at 10.
Like it, metronome.
Yeah, absolute metronome.
Call him the Australian Ollie Robinson.
Yeah. Right, 11. Who do I have at 11? God, this is tough, man.
Your old coach get dizzy?
Diz.
Yeah.
Wow. You know he signs off every text with his 201 or whatever his test high score is.
I had no idea of that, but that makes me so happy.
At the bottom of every text, he'll be like, cheers, 201 or whatever.
I'm a huge fan of Jason Gillespie's just general aura, as we're using the phrase aura.
How good is that?
But that is aura to the highest extent. Because also, isn't that his last test he played?
I don't know.
One of his last tests is that he scored 200 as a night watchman, and it was like maybe the Australian board were just like, his career's not getting better than this. We'll just take him out now.
Oh, it's good stuff.
It's unbelievable.
It's bloody good stuff.
It's one of the best test match stories. If you don't know about it, look up Jason Gillespie's Night Watchman 100. I think it's Dhaka in Bangladesh. It's one of the Bangladeshi ground. It's just ridiculous.
Right, I've picked my number 11.
Like it.
I don't actually know what he did in cricket, but standing at first slip next to Hayden Rutten Smith and Sangakkara is Dwayne Leverog. Okay. That's my team. So you got
mate.
McKinney and Hayden.
Yeah, up the top.
Joe Root, Steve Smith, Kumar Sangakkara, Joe Willis, Will Tunley Lowe, Shane Warne, Jofra Archer, Glenn McGrath, and Dwayne Leverog.
I mean, I think the team night out would be one for the ages.
I think it would be
sure.
Good. Yeah.
Bertie Foreman, man manager. He's getting the best out of that team.
Yeah, running drinks, shock. Yeah.
Oh, that's quite funny. Putting yourself in the Dream 11 12th man is quite as self-deprecating as it gets.
I'm the night captain. I take over.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
That's good. No curfew in that 11. Well, mate, I mean, this has been unbelievable. The Dream 11 went about as well as I could imagine it, so thank you for that. I think we're getting about to a sort of podcasty time. Bloody hell, yeah, it's already gone. We've already. I mean,
Yeah,
like, it
geez.
shows how easily we've been chatting away, because that did not feel like an hour and
We
20
are
minutes.
absolute badgers, aren't we?
We do
This
just
is
love it.
ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so, well, good luck with everything. I have, well, what's you'll be with the Sussex lads for the rest of the year, kind of
Yeah,
in the squads, and
just
because
over
the
the
two
next
stuff's
month.
done. He's saying, yeah,
Yeah, over the next month, just training and see what happens.
yeah, nice. Well, yeah, I hope everything goes well. And yeah, I'll kind of catch you very soon, mate, I'm sure. But thank you very much for coming on. First pro
pleasure.
cricketer on the show, first of many, hopefully. And yeah, it's been in conversation with. It's been, a lovely conversation about English cricket, world cricket, your lovely career. So thank you very much for coming on, mate. And yeah, cheers.
Thanks, Will. Thanks for having me, mate.
No worries.